Ahoy, mateys! We're moving into 6.1, all about integers. So integers are basically just positive and negative whole numbers. There's a lot on this little page right here, so I'm going to have you pause soon and take some notes. Basically, positive numbers are any numbers that are bigger than 0, and they can be written with the positive sign, but usually they're just written as numbers. Negative numbers will always have a little, it looks like a minus sign. It's a negative sign. And those are numbers that are less than 0. And then two numbers that are the same distance from 0 on a number line, but on opposite sides of 0, are called opposites. So like -5 is the opposite of 5, and 20 is the opposite of -20. Okay, so integers are the set of whole numbers and their opposites. So integers themselves don't have like decimals or fractions. So like 2.5 is not an integer, but 2 is an integer. And they can be positive numbers or negative numbers. And then 0 is smack dab right in the middle. And the numbers get increasing as you move away from 0. So, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the right-hand side, and then you have -1 right next to 0, and then -2 is a little further away from 0, and -3 is a little further away from 0. So that's kind of the sum up of positive and negative numbers. And then we're going to go through some quick examples after you take some notes on this page right here. Okay, so example number 1. Let me shrink myself and move myself. Here we go. All right, so write a positive or negative integer that represents this situation. A contestant gains 250 points on a game show. You got it. It's just 250. Oh, wait. Okay. I should have put that up there. You got it. It's just 250. Or if you want to really put the positive sign, you can. You don't have to. And then let's do the second one. Gasoline freezes at 40 degrees below 0. What number would represent that? Okay, so below 0 indicates a number smaller than 0. Therefore, you would use a negative integer. -40 is what represents gas freezing at 40 degrees below 0. So hopefully this is fairly straightforward so far. I want you to do some examples right here. There's 4 of them. So you have a hiker climbing 900 feet up a mountain. What number would represent that? Okay, I'll tell you the answers after we do all 4. It won't show the answers right now. Okay, you have a debt of $24. What number would represent that? Okay, student loses 5 points for being late to class. A savings account earns $10. All right, so if you're climbing 900 feet, you've got, it's positive 900. If you have a debt of 24, it means you owe 24. That would be -24. If you lose 5 points, that's -5. And if you save or earn $10, that's positive 10. Okay, and now we're also going to talk a little bit about graphing. So these I'm just going to show you the graphs. So you don't have to worry about writing or answering anything on these. So if a football team gains 57 yards, that's going to be a positive 57. Now, the way you're going to graph that on a number line is you basically, if you want to put the 0, you can and just like go by tens, that's fine. Or you can just kind of ignore 0 and start like they did here on 53. And then 57 would be smack dab here in this middle of this number line. Okay, the shores of the Dead Sea are 420 meters below sea level. If it's below sea level, that's a negative number. So again, you could put 0 on here and go by big numbers, or just keep in mind that when you're doing negative numbers, so like 0 would be over here on the right, and then you're counting and the numbers are counting in this direction. So you'd have like -416, -417, -418, -418, and then -420. Bam, there's the Dead Sea. Okay, the Kingda Ka roller coaster has a top speed of 128 miles per hour. That would be a positive number. So again, you just put the positive numbers on a number line and put a dot on 128. And the last one, at its coldest, Mercury's surface temperature is 300 degrees below 0, even though it's the closest planet to the sun. So that is a negative number. And again, when you're going into the negatives, the numbers go this way. So -300 would be right about there on a number line. Notice none of these number lines put 0 on them. A lot of times you have 0, but usually if the numbers are way away from 0, you don't even have to start with 0. Okay, so now what would the graph for 3 look like? Actually, we'll do, what does the graph of 3 and its opposite look like? All right, so here you got 3 on this side of 0, and -3, which is the opposite, is on this side of 0. So you'd put them both on there if you're asked to do that on Big Ideas. So there's 3, there's the opposite. Okay, what does the graph of -2 and its opposite look like on a number line? You got it. So -2 would be right here, and then on the other side of 0 at 2, there's 2. Okay. And lastly, so you're going to have a few word problems besides just creating numbers, although that's exactly what this is. So you deliver flowers to an office building, you enter at the ground level, and you go down 2 floors to make the first delivery. Then you go up 7 floors to make the second delivery. So write an integer that represents that first delivery. Okay, so that first delivery, if it's 2 floors below, that's -2. Okay. And then what is the integer that represents going up 7 floors? Okay, that is +7. There you go. Later on, we're actually going to learn that you're going to end up at floor 5 in this case, but we're not doing the addition and subtraction yet. This is just identifying numbers. Okay, and then the second part here, write an integer that represents how you return to ground level. Ooh. So you got to think about what's happening in this situation. So how would you return to ground level? Okay, so I just mentioned that you're at floor 5. Okay, so to return to ground level, you have to go down 5 floors. Okay, there we go. That's all of the examples. It's about as difficult as you're going to see on your Big Ideas. So make sure to email or get some help through the ASC if you have any questions. And I will see you during our next live session. Yarr!